We need a touch more flair. We've dialed it back. Beckley, do you agree with this super chat? Do you think Arsenal have dialed back the style, the flair?
I disagree. I actually agree because I think that recently we've against Forest today. Before we scored that goal, I thought we were shocking, to be honest. We controlled the game, but we didn't really do anything in the final thirds. About Jesus though, he has all the flair, but he's not in the box. And I feel like I disagree. I feel like if you get Ivan Toney in, I feel like he does hold the ball up. He does link play. He drops deep and he scores lots of goals. And I feel like if you watched before, someone Saka wasn't like he hasn't got enough skill in his game. So I feel like somebody, I don't know, somebody like a winger that could take on their man, like a Kudos, for example, we should have got, who could take on their man and can shoot, would have helped us a lot. But right now, I feel like in our team, I feel like we're lacking something in the final third, and I'm not sure what it is. To be honest, I think it's Arteta's tactics. To be honest, making us play slower, and I think our attackers they benefit from we move the ball quickly because they get more space. But today, Martinelli, he didn't have much space and much room to take on their right back, and on the counter attack, when we shot second goal, we look better. Odegaard quick pass into Jesus. Jesus running down the middle, passing the Saka and he scores. I thought we look a lot better and move the ball quickly, and I feel like that's our main issue actually.
I hear that, Nathan. Welcome back to the show. Do you think this is Arteta like changing his tactics, or is it harder to move the ball against teams that are sitting low and in a deep block against you that allow very little space? Because I thought the ball moved very quickly in the second half when Nottingham Forest opened up. Like, what's your take on that? Does more flair need to be added, or is this just about adjusting to teams playing more negatively against you?
I think it's a combination of both, to be honest with you. I think it's to do with the personnel. I think it's the tactics. I think we've decided to be a lot more conservative this season. Safety first seems to be at the forefront of the players' minds and the manager's minds, and therefore this is the result of it. Because even when you look at a team like Liverpool are a team that will continually play vertical passes, will try and always move the ball forward, right? And instead this season, we've kind of taken on the Man City approach of moving the ball side to side and trying to look for openings. So I definitely think it's a tactical thing. I think, that left 8 position still isn't 100% sorted at the moment. And that's also hindering that fluidity in that regards. But yeah, I think a lot of it does stem from the manager and the manager's instructions, if I'm to be honest with you. And that's probably why we haven't been nowhere near as, fluid. And obviously, once we score, I think game state plays a massive part in how in the way in which we attack. So once we get a goal, whether it be from a set piece like the Palace game or today, teams then have to open up, and then obviously it makes it a lot easier for you to play those vertical passes. But in terms of during a low block, it's we just move that ball side to side, and there seems to be no intention of actually trying to hurt the opponents. And it's something that I've been extremely critical throughout this season, and it's why today doesn't really answer many questions for me as a fan in terms of our weaknesses. Like, I can praise what we've done. I'm very happy we've got the result. 3 points is at this stage of the season, it's what matters. But moving forward, I don't have confidence, to be completely honest, that we will, be able to break down these low blocks, because we still haven't shown that throughout this season. I mean, the way I look at it is, like, the simple analogies is if you're in school and you're studying one subject, let's say maths, and you're always struggling in that subject and you excel in other aspects, it doesn't mean you all of a sudden, that you haven't particularly strengthened what you're weak at, right? So just because you've got better at English, for instance, it doesn't mean you've worked on what your deficiency is, which is maths. And our deficiency this season has been low blocks. We haven't got any better at it. And that's why my faith is kind of dwindled. I mean, because the sample size is not the performances, and we've got a large enough sample.
Let me challenge you on that. When you say that, your last 2 games have been against teams that are low block, and you've scored 7 goals.
Yeah, all right. But then we also have to look at it contextually. So when you're looking at those 2 games, we scored 2 goals from set pieces against Palace, right? Which is, again, something we praise, but it's not opening up the low block. It's an alternative method of scoring. But as I've kind of alluded to on other shows, it's the chances from open play. And we don't create enough of those. And throughout the season, that will catch up with us because you can't always rely on those set piece type of goals. And even today, that first half, we barely created anything from open play.
But set pieces is just another way to score, though.
Right, it is one way to score. I'm not you going on like I'm saying they don't count. I'm just saying to you, you need a balance of everything, right? In life, in any field, you need a balance. You need goals from set pieces. You need goals from open play, right? You need everybody to contribute. You need your centre backs to score goals at times, your forwards to score goals. That is what creates a successful team. So it's not critiquing the fact that we're scoring goals from set pieces. It's the fact that we're not doing enough through open play. We don't create enough chances through open play. And there are going to be games like today where our set pieces wasn't great, and we needed to create more from open play.
Wait, are we second in chances created from open play?
You are, yes. Joint with Man City, second in the league, yeah.
I mean, I would assume that we're now above them because we've played the game today and they haven't played yet. But yeah, I mean, I don't quite understand. I also don't understand why we really care as fans if we're not always breaking down low blocks and we're getting goals from set pieces. I mean, I'm from the 90s. I love goals from set pieces, man. Let's get more goals from set pieces. That's why we have a set piece coach, no? Like, I don't know. For me, I don't know, man. For me, it's perspective, right? Like, you know, people say that the tactics, but we have to play this way. This is the way we play. And the fact that we pass from side to side, it makes their team move more, which means they lose energy, which means we can then play more openly, and then we create more chances towards the latter part of games, which is what happens. So I don't know, man. I don't know why people are so hung up on this stuff personally, but I don't know. Maybe I'm
do you know what it is for me? It's about, I always say this, like your performances kind of are an indication of where you'll move in the future, right? So like the better the performances, the more chances you create, the more you can take from that going into the season. And for me, it's been a weakness for us throughout the season. And I feel like I'd be a blind Arsenal fan who I'd be just hoping and not calling out what I see as deficiencies within the squad or within our performances, and just kind of riding on, you know, the fact that things are going well right now. Because yes, we've won our last 2 games and we've capitalized on moments, but there are still things that we can improve on. You look at the likes of City and Liverpool, who we're up against, they are able to get set piece goals or last minute goals, but they also create various amount of chances, right? They break teams down. They're able to sustain that level of pressure. And it's why they're favourites, in my opinion, than Arsenal, because their forwards are responsible for, you know, a lot of chance creation and goals. Whereas our forward line, right, doesn't have that at the moment. It's nowhere near as good as it was last season.
See, I'll be honest. Again, yeah, go on.
I was going to say that if you look at the style of football we're playing, it only really, really works if you got a clinical striker, because we're facing big chances created this season. And if you look at that chance Hayes had in the second half, hit the post, a clinical striker scores that. And I feel like this slow, methodical football playing, passing it around, only really works with a clinical striker, that when that one chance comes, he scores it. But with our forwards right now, I feel like when they get their chances, you don't know if they're going to score or not. Sometimes they...
I do get where you guys are coming from, but and you guys are going to analyze your club differently to me, because I'm not watching with any emotion. If you win, you win. If you lose, I don't care. Does that make sense? It isn't my club. But this year in the Premier League, if we just look at big chances created, so this is real great opportunities to score. Man City are the best team in the world. They've created 50. Arsenal doesn't include today, hasn't updated for today. You guys have created 45. Open play chances, which don't include the big chances, you're joint with them. I believe you do create as many chances as everybody else. I think the difference between last year and this year, and I think maybe it's infecting the analytics from yourselves a little bit, is you are playing slower. I think some of that is tactics because you're reserving energy for the whole season, and some of it is I don't know if you guys have seen the defensive heat map of Forest today. They're basically all the dark red circles are basically on their goal line, if that makes sense. They're that deep as a team. Of course, you can't move the ball quickly when you've got 11 players in close proximity around the edge of their box. So, and I think it may take you some time to adjust to that and make the football look as pretty as last year. But you're one of the top goal scorers in the league. Good defensive record again, as an example. One of the highest. I mean, ironically, Newcastle have created the most amount of big chances this year on 56. So you're only 11 big chances created away from being top of the league, which is, over 22 games, an extra half per game. Liverpool on 54, City on 50, Spurs and Villa are a couple ahead of you as an example. I'd be worried if I was and again, maybe I'm projecting as a Man United fan because we've only created 30 in the whole season and we currently sit 15th. I don't think your guys' attack is as bad. I just don't think Martinelli and Saka have been, and Jesus to a degree have been as clinical as last year. And I just think it's being overanalyzed slightly. Just from the outside looking in, I just think it's slightly overanalyzed personally. But maybe that's just me. I don't know. It's I keep hearing Arsenal fans saying our attack isn't very good, and maybe I'm looking at it from jealous eyes. I think it's pretty decent. It's pretty decent.
Also, as well, Arsenal can't win because last season, Arsenal are playing too fast. They've started too fast. They're too emotional. They're going to trip up. They're going to burn out towards the end of the season. Man
The
City.
play style isn't sustainable.
Yeah, the play style's not sustainable. Man City, they're taking it slow. They're trying new things. They're building up. They're going to come in the second part of the season with loads of energy because they've been conserving themselves. When Arsenal do it, they're playing slow. Why are they not playing faster? Why don't we have the football from last season? But the same people, Arsenal were top for 93% of the season and you bottled the league. I mean,
I think it's just because they just hate Arteta.
I think the main.
I disagree.
If I could just come in quickly. Sorry, if I could just come in quickly. I think the main reason for that is because Man City have the backing. They have the history. They've done this. They do it every season. They come through last in the back end of the season. They're consistent. Bang, bang, bang. They're knocking game after game after game after game. They're just knocking them out every time. Us, we don't have that experience. We don't have that credit in the bank. We don't have that time where we've shown that we can knock 10, 12 games in a row. Bang, gone. We don't have that in the back end of the season. The back end of the season, let's face it, squeaky bum time. That's when you have to get in. That's literally the end of the season is the most important time. So we don't have the backing, we don't have the history, we don't have the credit in the bank to do that. I think that's why people will be like, you can't say the same for Arsenal as you can for City, just because obviously. And listen, I think we have been conserving energy this season. It's just for us to now go. We have to go and show them that we can actually do that. And we can be consistent. By the way, guys, I'm so pissed off right now that even just sitting here talking football, Morocco just went out to South Africa in the African Cup of Nations, and I'm fuming, bro. Right now, there's a smile on my face, and I'm fuming, bro. But a good game from Arsenal today. Listen, I think we played a good game. Second half, we came out. That finish from Gabriel Jesus, I still now don't know how he finished that. Like the angle was so tight. So how he finished that was amazing. Saka getting on the score sheet again. And listen, I think Emil Smith Rowe had a good run out today. He needs to be on the pitch a bit more. I think Zinchenko wasn't trying to get the ball to him. I was saying this on my stream, which was in the half space, which is what the tacticos like to call it, that little bit between the wing and the striker position or centrally, in that space, that's where Smith Rowe was occupying his space, or he was occupying that space, and we're not getting the ball to him enough. We just weren't getting the ball to him enough, man. And I feel like we needed to get the ball to him a bit more, because every time he gets the ball, he was going forward. He was trying to look forward, trying to get the ball forward, trying to do something. He was involved in a lot of our chances in the first half. But other than that, listen, we managed to score the goals. Got a bit shaky at the end, but we managed to get the 3 points. And I think it's massive going into the next game, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, look, boys, the next game we're going to talk about in just a moment. I want to go to some of these super chats.